Hello, everybody, and welcome to another week in our Network Marketing TV series. This week, myself and Chris are joined by the wonderful Danny. So welcome onto the show, Danny.
Thanks very much. Great to be here.
Good to have you on. So over the last kind of couple of weeks, and what we're continuing to do over the next few weeks is have different people on from different companies. So you get to see a big variety of companies, what brought that person into that particular company and into the industry of network marketing, and just hear their background on everything in their life and where the opportunity is taking them. So you get to hear a big variation, which is what we're really excited about. So you get to see a lot. So Danny, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I believe you're with a company called WorldVentures.
That's right.
So yeah. How long have you been involved in the network marketing industry?
Yeah, I've been in network marketing for about 4 or 5 years now in total. I started out with a different company. In fact, WorldVentures is my third company that I've been with. I think the more network marketers that I speak to, the more I see that a lot of people actually do kind of float between companies until they kind of find the one that they feel that they can bed in with, and they've got enough synergy in different areas to feel like that's the one that's going to work. But I had a job in the corporate world. I was in IT sales and marketing before I found network marketing, but it was typically corporate. It was very stressful. It was typically salesy in that it was very long hours. I was spending a lot of time away from home, and I wanted to find something different, but I couldn't really work out what that was because I've been doing it for about 15 to 20 years, and it's all I really knew. And then one day my wife came home, and obviously we'd been speaking about my desire to leave my job and do something different. She said that she'd been given a card at the train station, and it was an opportunity card from somebody in a network marketing company, and I just thought, wow, well, it looks good, and I'm quite open-minded, quite ever the optimist, my friends would call me. So I put a call in and set up a meeting, and straight away I thought, well, this is it, this is what I'm going to go for, and kind of took it from there really. I just jumped in with both feet and decided to see where it was going to take me.
That's amazing. You are like every network marketer's dream. To be able to give out a business card and that person actually call you back is like unheard of.
Everybody would say to you that the one thing you don't want to waste your money on is printing flyers and leaflets and just handing them out to people and expecting anybody to call you back. But I know it's a rarity and it's not a practice that I would follow. But I guess if somebody's ready for an opportunity and you're fortunate enough to get your information in front of them, then they're going to potentially take action on that.
Absolutely. So do you feel like now you're on your third network marketing company, do you feel like you've found the one that's right for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a combination of things that brought me into WorldVentures. It wasn't just the WorldVentures opportunity, but absolutely now I'm working with a team of people that have got a very similar outlook to building a network marketing business as I do. And we've got very complementary skill sets, and I've learned a lot since I've been working with them for the past. I've been working with the team for about 12 months because they're a team of online marketers, and I've been with WorldVentures now for about 3 or 4 months, I think, so relatively new.
Okay, brilliant.
But yeah, definitely,
wow.
It's definitely a company that I am really, really pleased to be with. I think in the past, the other companies that I was with, I struggled in a couple of areas. I managed to build teams. But in terms of the product set, I felt that it was very much I was in the mode of convincing people they had to try products, convincing people that they would get benefits, and I didn't really want to be in that. I was in the convincing game in my corporate job for all those years, and I didn't want to be carrying on with that. So, one of the decisions that I made when I joined WorldVentures was that I wanted to work with a company that's got a mass market appeal, and travel is such a huge industry, $7 trillion industry globally. And people travel, it's a thing that everybody does really. So yeah, that was quite an attractive factor for me when I looked at the company.
Yeah. And did you find it hard because you'd already built teams in other network marketing companies, did you find it hard to walk away from those companies to then move on to the next one?
Yeah, I did. That was the one thing that made it the most difficult for me. But I guess I had adult conversations with all of the people that I was working with, and I explained what I was doing. I put all my cards on the table and explained the reasons why I was moving on. And the reasons I had for moving on from both of the companies were valid. And you know, those people had a choice. You know, they could stay where they were. Some of them were performing, some of them weren't, as we all know happens in network marketing, or they could come with me. But my reason for having the conversations wasn't to say, look, I'm moving, come along. It was just to say, look, you need to be aware of what's happening here. There's a contingency plan in place where I would always plug them into the upline that I had, who were willing to take over and look after them from a business building perspective. And I just said to them, the choice is yours. You can stay here. You can come along with me. And I kind of left it like that. So it was all very, very open. And, you know, I operate with integrity. It's something that I do take pride in. And, you know, I think that's, you know, that for me felt the best way to handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that also it shows that you've got integrity, because if you were with other companies that just weren't sitting right with you as a person and the product, you felt like you were convincing, then that kind of makes you lose your integrity, doesn't it? Because it is not something you can honestly recommend. Whereas now, I think obviously it shows that you believe in WorldVentures and what they do. So tell us a little bit more about WorldVentures, because I don't know too much about them either.
Yeah, sure. So WorldVentures is an American-based organisation, as most network marketing companies are. They've been around for about 10 years now, and they operate in the travel space. So they help people to basically enjoy amazing experiences by becoming part of the WorldVentures organisation, either as a customer or as a representative, or both. And they have amazing vacations in, you know, just fabulous parts of the world, and they put together very bespoke packages for people, and they just have some really cool ways of marketing their product, which means that they have price guarantees. They kind of model themselves on offering 5-star vacations, but for sort of 2- and 3-star prices if you want to look at it from a cost perspective. But for me, I look at it more from an experience perspective, because of the way that they tailor their packages together, and the fact that, you know, if you come in at the higher level, which is platinum, you get things like, you know, a chauffeur-driven limousine to and from the airport. You get to upgrade at very, very, very preferential rates. There's just loads and loads of really, really cool travel-related benefits that they throw into the packages. But, you know, as I said, for me, the fact that everybody travels these days, and also as well, the fact that if you ask people why they join network marketing companies, quite a lot of the time it's because they want a better lifestyle, and a lot of that lifestyle comes along with being able to go out and travel. So I figured, look, you know, why not have an opportunity that kind of pulls both of those things together? Absolutely.
Yeah, for me it's all about traveling. I love to travel. Any nice holidays, you can count me in. I think I'm away more than I'm in the UK, to be honest.
Right. That's way to be.
So when you're building your team, shall we say, so obviously you've got a team of people that you coach and mentor to build successful businesses with WorldVenture as well. What kind of things do you look for in people?
That's a really good question, actually. The way that I build my teams is predominantly online, and the types of people that I approach are people that already have experience in network marketing, because I know that probably north of 97% of network marketers around the world struggle to build a business because they don't have the right support, or they don't have the right blueprint to build their business on. And what I aim to do is to provide people with everything that they need. But what I found when I was building offline with my traditional warm market of friends and family is that you would have a big obstacle to overcome with the whole concept of network marketing as it is. And I think that if you look at network marketers who've already entered into the world of the profession that we operate in, then they've made two decisions. The first decision is that they have made a choice that they want to do something more with their lives, and that might be that they just want a piece of sideline income, or they might want to do what I've done and, you know, look at it as a full-time enterprise and completely get, you know, almost a complete career change. But they've made that decision. And the second thing is that they understand what network marketing is about. So all of the challenges that we have in network marketing about convincing people about the validity of what we do, and the virtues of what we do, and what the opportunity can actually mean to people, that's already dealt with. So what I look to do is just to build relationships with people online who are in network marketing, and I use attraction marketing in order to position myself to those people. So I have a Facebook community where people can apply to join. I never put people in there without asking them. They just come in and ask to join by finding other information I've put out on the internet and on other social media channels. And then I deliver valuable information to them every day about how they can build their business, mindset, leadership, all that kind of stuff. And then I just build relationships with people over time. But all of these people are already in network marketing. And if some of those people come to me and say, look, I'm really struggling with my business, I don't have X, Y, or Z, is it possible that I could come and work with you? Then we can have a conversation about that. And it's proved to be a really, really powerful way to build a business.
Do you find with some of those people that they are struggling just because they haven't given it enough time, and because what am I trying to say? Struggling because they haven't given it enough time and they haven't put enough effort in themselves, or that it is that they're not getting the coaching and the mentoring that they need, or is it a combination for different people?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. I think, you know, the way that the process works for me now is that people actually apply. They fill out an application form in order to set up some time with me so that we can talk about different things. And it's when we're having the conversations that you start to drill down on, you know, so what's your background, what successes have you had, you know, how are you generating leads? You know, I just ask a lot of kind of very carefully crafted questions to get to understand exactly where they're at. And I would say that you can tell, obviously, with some people where, you know, they're probably not applying themselves as much as or they have not been applying themselves as much. But I often think as well that the reason for that is because they don't know what they're doing. They're not being given the right tools. So many people out there, I find, are signed up into an opportunity and then just left to get on with it, which I think is shocking. It is shocking. Yeah. You know, unfortunately, it goes on. So, you know, what I aim to do is just to, you know, I give people lots and lots of free advice, lots of free guidance through the information I share in my community, which is in the public domain. But when I start to talk to people and build relationships with them, I can start to uncover, you know, what their challenges are. But I would say that on the whole, people are struggling because they're not being given the right guidance by the people that have either brought them into the business, or they're also struggling with some of the tactics, or I don't like the word tactics, techniques that they're being taught to grow their business. So, you know, if I think back to the first company that I was with, as it is with most companies, I think, although I see a change coming, I'll come on to that in a second, but I was taught wall market first, friends and family, which initially I wasn't that comfortable with, but I did it anyway. Finished that process. What did I come out with at the end? A few customers, a couple of sign-ups, a lot of people that were a bit kind of freaked out about what I was getting into. And then I was told to go to the cold market. So contact marketing, yeah, I guess you're familiar with the phrase contact marketing, cold market.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that I was comfortable with, and I know a lot of other people aren't as well. They don't want to be standing in shopping centres giving out leaflets to people. You know, I know that there are people building big businesses that way, but a lot of people don't want to do that, and a lot of people want to turn to the internet. But yeah, sorry. Your question again was, because I think I've gone off at a tangent.
So it was about whether the people that you're speaking to then are searching for another opportunity because they're not applying themselves enough and giving it enough time, or that it is truly that they're not getting what they need.
Yeah. So with this, I think, yeah, a lot of network marketing companies are teaching people to kind of go down this warm market, cold market route. I don't think hardly any network marketing companies at the moment are teaching people how to use social media effectively. So I have a blueprint to teach people how to do that. And I think that's the reason. I think that's the reason why people are struggling, because they don't have the systems. I don't think it's so much down to their own personal application or their desire or their, you know, the amount of work that they're putting in. I think that people tend to find that they're banging their head against a brick wall because they can't make this thing work.
Right. What do you know? What baffles me is like you mentioned, when people join a network marketing company and they're not given any support, because I think who's it going to benefit? Because the only way that you benefit as a consultant is by helping other people. So if the person that you introduce to the company isn't successful, then it means you're not successful, and it just doesn't make sense in my head. You know, when you're like, the whole point in network marketing is coaching and mentoring people to be successful. So some people are missing a trick if they're not doing that.
There are too many people out there that just see dollar signs above people's heads, and they know that there's a fee that they're going to make when they recruit somebody, but they don't look at the bigger picture. It baffles me too. I can't understand it. I think, you know, there are just some mercenary people out there that are just after a quick buck, and they're not willing to put the effort in to build something big. And it is a shame, but equally, I think, you know, I'm a big believer in things happening for a reason. I think I am where I am because I've been on a journey that's got me to that point. And I think other people they're all on their own journeys, and, you know, you're going to come across situations that are a bit more challenging, but hopefully people get to a point where they can find a way. And sometimes you have to go through some hurdles and obstacles in order to get to that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's never great to hear that people have been in that position, but I enjoy those conversations because by the end of them, I can make people feel that, you know what, actually, this can work. You know, if there's one thing I do like convincing people of, it's that network marketing is a solid, stable profession, and that pretty much anybody can be successful in it. And that's not really through convincing them, it's just telling stories about how I'm helping other people.
Yeah, and I like the fact you said as well, it's a profession. That's the thing, it's the network marketing industry is a profession, and people need to treat it with that respect, that it is a full-on profession. It's like, you know, anything else out there.
Yeah.
What do you feel that the industry has changed a lot over the 3 or 4 years that you've been involved in the industry?
Absolutely, hugely. I think there's a few things that have happened. I think for me personally, when I first started out and everything was done offline, I think there's just been a sea change in terms of the size of the opportunity now that we can come online. We've been able to come online, but I follow a system which is called the 6-step sponsoring sequence, which is a process that I follow. It's a daily mode of operation that I have, where I just have a list of things that I do every day online that I tick off as I do them. So I create content, I syndicate that out to platforms, and so on and so forth. But now I have an opportunity where I can reach millions of people online, and I can do that really effectively, but without spamming. I think so. There are now systems in place for people to build big businesses online. I think as well, what happened with Herbalife recently and their situation with the Federal Trade Commission in the States. Did you hear about that?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think that there are some real positives that are going to come out from that. I think, you know, looking at things like, you know, distributors buying products to meet quotas, that's going to be done away with, and that's going to be done away with within Herbalife. And I think that's going to filter down into the industry where we've got companies that have physical products that they need to transact with customers. And I think that's a good thing, because I think so many people I speak to just say that, you know, I'm buying product all the time just to make my quota to get a check, but it's sitting in the shed or in the garage and I can't shift it. It kind of defeats the object. But I think one of the things I'm really kind of pleased to hear that's come out of that case is the fact that the way that business opportunities are being sold to people, which is just on hype and excitement, you know, that's going to slowly start to peter out. And I think that companies are going to have to be a lot more transparent about, you know, the kind of effort that people are going to need to put into network marketing and the kind of investments that they're going to need to make. You know, I talk frequently in my community about the fact that if you think you can come into network marketing and buy your starter pack and then your business is going to build itself, then you're mistaken. You need to invest in education, in skills, in, you know, marketing. You know, it's not as simple as a lot of people will make out. And while I don't think we want to take away from the level of excitement that there is around what network marketing can mean, I think we do need to be a lot more upfront about what it's going to take for people to become professional entrepreneurs with a network marketing company. So yeah, I think there's been a lot of change, and I think a lot of that change has actually been for the better.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you've just said then. I think it's so important to highlight to people what it takes to be successful, because I personally don't believe that network marketing is what I would call hard work, because I've worked hard in my life, but it's not simple. You know, there's things you have to learn to be successful, and I think the thing that makes it hard is the mental battle that people need to go through to become successful. It's those extra, you know, personal development things that they need to do that they probably didn't do before to stretch their comfort zone. That's the hard part. The actual work involved it's not rocket science or brain surgery. We know that, and that's why, like you mentioned, anyone can be successful. They just have to have the will and the desire to learn the new skills and be willing to slowly stretch that comfort zone to improve themselves. And when they do, like, I think that's the biggest result people love, is not necessarily even the income, it's the person they become through building the business. It's all the skills that they learn, and yeah, that for me is the most exciting thing, is to see someone go through that whole journey. For
I think
someone who's looking at the network marketing industry and they're kind of teetering on the edge a little bit, thinking this sounds great, but oh, can I do it? What would you say? What would you say to them?
I think the answer to can I do it would be yes, you can, but you need to have an appreciation of what it takes to build your own business. So you've got, I mean, obviously it depends so much on the company that you're looking at, but if let's assume that you're with a company that is, has longevity and is stable, and you've done your due diligence on the organisation, then it's just about learning the entrepreneurial skills that you need. So I think what I would say is that absolutely yes, you can be successful as long as you come into this with your eyes open and an open mind, and the knowledge that you're going to need to make some investments, not significant investments. This is definitely one of the most low cost of entry points that you can have when it comes to setting up your own business. But there are still some additional investments you'll need to make, and a lot of those investments, in fact, are in time, not just financial outlay, but you're going to need to put the time aside to learn the skills, and you might need to make a little bit of investment in terms of some systems to build your business. But I think anybody can do this. Anybody that just has the right reasoning to change their life in some way, to make a decision to come into network marketing. So it might be, for me, it was because I needed to escape the corporate world to spend more time with my family. And now I work from home. It's the school holidays. I'm here with my kids. I can come away from my computer whenever I want and go and take the kids to the park or do something like that. And that was a big driver for me. So I think as long as people have a strong enough kind of internal reasoning as to why they're coming into this, then I think they can be successful. But they've got to stay close to that. They've got to stay close to that why, which is a word that we all know and love in network marketing.
Yeah, because it's so easy, isn't it, to get that excitement when you first see this opportunity and you see all those kind of things that you can have in the future, and you're so excited by it. But then the reality hits that, like you said, you have to put the time investment in to begin with. It's not instant gratification, and I think we're so used to living in a world of instant gratification where you can have everything in a second, and it's like, no, it's not going to build itself in a second. You have to give it time, and even though you can't necessarily see the results in the first month or two, or whenever, sometimes it takes longer than that. If you can't necessarily see instant results, but it's about knowing that they will come if you just consistently invest that time into your business and into yourself.
Yeah. One of the first books that I read when I started in network marketing was The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy.
Yes. Love that book.
It's a fantastic book. And you've got The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, which kind of they follow very similar themes, but I've just sort of leaned a bit more towards Darren's book for ease of reading. But yeah, it doesn't build overnight, but what it does, if you do the same things consistently day on day, week on week, it does build momentum, and then it does get to that point where it tips over the edge, and then great things start to happen. And that point doesn't come at any specifically defined point in time, but when it does, it's fantastic. And yeah, I just think that people that come into this profession have to have their expectations set clearly, and that's one of the things that I didn't do when I first started in network marketing, because I did what other people did. So I sold on hype and excitement. And now when I speak to people about coming into network marketing, which isn't that much these days, because as I said, I tend to speak more to people that are already in network marketing, but I still have conversations offline. And when I do have those conversations, it's very much about, look, let me just, here's all the good stuff that's going to happen for you, but then here's all the stuff that you're going to need to consider before you make that investment to get involved. And then underpinning all of that is my advice and guidance and continued support along the way to make sure that if you're going to do the work, then you're going to get the results.
Yeah, it's showing people every single aspect, isn't it? It's showing them the whole picture, not just the excitement side and the what you can get. It's actually, this is what you can get, but this is what it's going to take to get that. Are you prepared to do that? If so, brilliant. If not, then maybe this isn't the right opportunity for you. I often ask people when they start, what they want, how much they want to earn by when, and how many hours they're willing to put into their business to create that income. Mm-hmm. And most people, I have to say, do give realistic answers, but I've had a couple of people who've been like, I'm willing to do 3 hours a week and I want to earn £5,000 a month in a month. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to level your expectations on that. If you want that kind of income, you need to put more time into it. It's not going to happen in 3 hours a week in a month. I can teach you how to do that in a longer time frame, but it's going to take longer than that.
I've had very, very similar conversations myself.
Yeah, and again, I think it is that thing, isn't it? Because people don't see necessarily the network marketing industry as a business, and I think that's our role as network marketing professionals, is to educate people that this is actually a business. It's like any other business out there. It's just the fact that it's something you can build part time alongside everything you've got going on, and like you said, it's a low entry point compared to setting up in traditional business. But I think that's our responsibility as professionals to share that with people so that they don't have these expectations of I can get rich in 2 minutes and do nothing.
Yeah, yeah, completely. I mean, I'm actually a big fan of, having multiple streams of income. So I don't. I tend to talk to people about that quite early on. I kind of paint a picture for people. If people are coming into my team specifically, let's say, then we'll start off by probably focusing on their opportunity with WorldVentures. But then what I'll start to do is to explain to them how they can start to weave in other income streams that are going to be really complementary to that, but are actually going to help them, so that should the rug come from under their feet, which we know can happen, they've got other things that are going on that are going to support them while they're just kind of sorting out this and sorting out that. It's the fantastic world of being an entrepreneur. But I do, there are people that I work with quite closely that we look at these multiple streams of income as a safety net for them to make sure that they've got insurance, I guess, for want of a better word, to underpin what they're trying to achieve.
Absolutely. I know, Chris, that's something that you're passionate about, isn't it? Making sure that people have got more than one just income stream, just because, I mean, well, why not have more than one for a start?
Yeah.
But as you said, you never know what's around the corner and what could happen in any area of what you're doing.
It's an interesting listening to what you two talking, because actually, Sarah, I would say that your business is predominantly built on personal interaction. In personal interaction, with face to face, and yours, Danny, is pretty much built remotely with people that you probably might never meet. And I suspect that the other streams of income that you're talking about, Danny, are things which are related, like training programs and video type stuff, and maybe membership sites and other bits and pieces that are online based revenue earning streams. So and I get that. That's the old internet marketing crossover into network marketing, which is kind of the space that you're in. If somebody's rubbish on the computer, though, Danny, are they going to be a bit stuffed during your team?
No, that's the beauty of it, because if you can put a post up on Facebook, then you're off to a good start. And if you can't do that, obviously we teach you how to do it. But we don't use complex, sales funnels and autoresponders. They have a place, and that's further along in the journey that you'll go on. But certainly, I have people that are in WorldVentures that don't do anything online. They just build their business offline, and that's cool because we can support that. But I also have a lot of people that do it online, and they just plug into a simple system which is built on Facebook predominantly. And so you certainly don't need to be a technical wizard, because that would, that's what I was taught when I first came online. When I was I think just leaving my first company, and I kind of got sick and tired of the cold market stuff, I thought, look, in the back of my mind, I thought it's got to be a way to build this online. It has to be. And I came online, and I was just sold so many dreams, overnight success stories and stuff like that, and they're just, a fallacy. And it wasn't until I found the system that I'm working with that I realised I've got something that, I could see something at that point that wasn't just effective, but it was also easy to duplicate. And that's, as we all know, the key to success in network marketing is duplication, so that the people that you bring into your team can replicate your success. So if you work offline completely, then that's cool. There's a system for that, which is traditional network marketing. If you come online with us, then we've got a pretty straightforward blueprint that you can follow that doesn't require any technical skills.
That's good to know.
And is that program applicable in other network marketing as opposed to WorldVentures? I know you're aligned to WorldVentures, but would it work for, another, Juice Plus?
Yeah, I've got network marketers in all sorts of companies that are using the exact same system to build their business. They just, they'll make some slight behind the scenes changes to certain things depending on what their company is. But we don't actually, because this is attraction marketing, what we teach people not to do is to lead with their company. So, if you come into my blog, or if you come into my Twitter feed, or my Facebook community, you won't see WorldVentures there because I don't lead with the company. WorldVentures is a conversation that happens very much in the background through relationship building, but what we do in attraction marketing is we lead with value. So we are providing valuable information to our target audience that they're going to enjoy consuming, and that slowly helps to build the know, like, and trust factor, and then we start to build on it from there.
Yeah, that's great, and that's what it should be, and I think that's where people go wrong when they're, well, both online and offline, isn't it? That they either just spam, or they blanket statement everyone, thinking that everyone's going to be drawn to them, and it's like, no, that doesn't work. It's completely the same online. It's building relationships as it is offline. Like, I view that what I do offline is very much about building relationships. I don't share the business with everyone. It's when I build a relationship with someone and find out about them and see that there's a need or a desire, or there's something about them that I just think, what, they need to hear about this, that I will speak to them about the business opportunity. And I think online is exactly the same. It shouldn't be any different. It shouldn't just be like, cold market, speak to anyone. It just doesn't work that way, does it? It's all about relationships.
Yeah, it completely is. And I shot a video, I think it was last week, for my group, where I talked about, no, it was the week before, where I talked about social media etiquette. And one of the messages that I kept playing through, it was a series of videos that ran for a week, and one of the messages that I kept playing through was, if you wouldn't do it to somebody offline, then don't do it to somebody online. So if somebody was walking down the street and you had a shop, you wouldn't stand outside that shop and then shove them into the shop, because then they'd be in the shop and they'd be thinking, I don't understand what's just happened. Why am I in here? Maybe I need to call the police. Whereas what people are doing online is they're setting up groups on Facebook, and they're just dumping people into those groups without asking. And I just try, you're not going to be able to teach all of them, but if you can change a few people and just get them to realise that what they're doing isn't serving them, then that's a step in the right direction. And one day, maybe we'll get there, but who knows?
Yeah. It's that tough one, isn't it? Because I've been added into groups, and I'm just like, why? The thing is, if you're added into a group and you don't want to be there, you just leave. So why would you bother wasting all your time adding all these people into a group that are just going to leave anyway and aren't your ideal market and aren't looking for what you've got to offer? It just doesn't make sense.
Exactly. That's why I have such a strong policy that, in my community, it's purely by application. When I say application, I mean people will find the group, they'll look at the content because it's public, and then they'll ask to join it, and then I'll approve them and welcome them in. I wouldn't dream of adding anybody into the group that didn't know what it was for, because, as you say, there's just no point. And I've been in groups where people have said, I got added to one over the weekend, and I got a notification to remind me that I've been added to it. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go and leave it, because it was about nothing that I was interested in. And the person that ran the group had even put a post up saying, please, if you've been added to this group, please don't leave, because you won't be able to get access to all of the special offers that I keep putting on. I just thought, I don't care about the special offers.
I'm not interested in special offers.
I don't wear makeup, so.
Oh dear. But like you said, it's about us doing everything we can as professionals to educate people on the better way of doing business, really, isn't it? To help them, and again, it is that enthusiasm that we do often see in new consultants and new distributors and things who are just trying to figure out their way sometimes, don't really know, and it's just that learning curve. Yeah, I'm sure we've all mistakes. But
of course, I always use the phrase that there are no such things as mistakes, they're just learning experiences. And I strongly believe that the reason that people are making all of these mistakes, as it were, or having all of these learning experiences on social media is down to a lack of education. So that's why I set up my group, so that I can, people that come in there will be educated, depending on how close they stay to the group, of course, but I try and educate people on how to do things the right way so that they can get results.
Great. Love that. Good idea. Chris, have you got any questions?
No. I think you know. I know network marketing reasonably well, and I know internet marketing reasonably well. So, you know, I understand how they've been put together. A lot of people confuse those two terms, internet marketing and network marketing. They're not that different in the way they sound, so people do get them confused. But it's just interesting for people to see like a different approach to network marketing, which is driven through online engagement, which is not typical.
No.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting way to look at things, and a very now way to look at things as well, isn't it? Because predominantly people communicate through Facebook. I mean, it's the biggest, most powerful tool, in my opinion, going. So learning how to use that effectively to market your business and to meet new people, I think, is vital.
Yeah, and I think, Chris, you're right. You know, online marketing for me is predominantly about automation and leverage and kind of setting up systems that are going to pretty much run themselves, very much geared towards information products. And I think network marketing is very much it's a relationship business, and you can't ever escape that. So you can't automate a network marketing business when you bring it online. There are definitely aspects of it that you can automate, like lead generation and application processes and stuff like that. But it's going to come to a point where you've got to have conversations with people and build those relationships, and that's when network marketing comes back to its own, really. It's just that you're doing it through a different channel as opposed to face-to-face.
I don't know what you'd think of this, though, Sarah, but I think half the scary bit, but also half the fun of it, is actually meeting the people that you're working with. And I just cast my mind back to your wedding. Not that I was there, I didn't get an invite.
Sorry.
But you know, a large number of the people there were people that you've met through network marketing, and it's like true personal. You've been on the journey together, and I'm just wondering whether you miss that with what you're doing, Danny.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think there are people from the UK that I work with quite closely, and I've met many of them. We've met at conventions and trainings and stuff like that. We certainly, as a WorldVentures team, we hold a lot of events in the UK, and there are global events as well. But equally, I have a global reach now, so I do work with people from across the globe, people in Australia and New Zealand, people in South Africa, people over in the States and Canada. You know, I'm going to struggle to meet with those people as frequently as I'd like, but it's certainly not completely online. You know, we do still get together with the slightly more local people when we can, and I still have offline contacts that I do as well. But you know, I think for me, bringing the business online and leveraging social media the right way is going to allow me to build much bigger, much more quickly, I think, than it would if I was following traditional offline.
Yeah, I think having a combination, and it shows like different personalities, doesn't it, and how network marketing can fit for different people depending on the company. It really does, in the way that your systems and structures work.
Yeah.
I mean, I predominantly do offline, but I do build a lot of relationships online as well, on Facebook and through LinkedIn as well, and that's how I've built a business as well online. But mainly, again, when I take those conversations offline. After I've met them online, they come offline.
Yeah, exactly. I'm always on Skype or Facebook Messenger or Google Hangouts, and you know, we have a lot of personal interaction through screens. So we're not all just sitting there typing messages to each other and sponsoring people that way. You know, it's kind of real world interaction, but we're just leveraging the technology that's available to us to give us a broader reach.
Yeah, amazing. I don't think I've got any more questions. Chris, are you all good?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, great to catch up with you both.
Thank you so much, and it's been wonderful having you on. So we will be back in 2 weeks' time with another guest speaker. So we will keep you posted as to who that will be. But yeah, it's been great having you on, Danny. Thank you so much for your input for today. And we look forward to seeing you all very soon.
Brilliant. Thanks.
Cheerio for me, and see you next time. So, cheerio for now, Danny.
Cheers. Take care.